This is it, man. It's that weird day, July 3rd. That's backwards already, which people are like, are we open? We not open? Retail's open. It's not open. We're going to talk about Jedi mind tricks too. Why not?
Yeah. Why not?
It's always a weird day when the 4th is on a Tuesday. Always, because the 3rd is like, what are we doing today? What are
like
people
a Wednesday,
doing? What
Thursday,
mindset
Friday, not a big deal. But,
easy.
You know.
Easy.
Yeah.
Any day but a Tuesday.
Any day but
because Thursday makes a lot of sense. You're like, Thursday off, Friday, we're not going to work on Friday, right? The weekend. But on the other side, it feels really weird. So, but hey, we're in the automotive industry. So guess what? People suit up, show up, the coffee's made, service bays are open, are probably busier than usual because people are like, hey, I got the day off. Hey, I'm traveling tomorrow. So whatever you're doing today, we got you back. Got you back. Hey, by the way, we're about to announce some really serious ASOTUCon speakers. Like our first drop, we have like 25 to 30 speakers that I was looking at the list yesterday. I was looking at the list. I'm like, this isn't like Bobby Bones, the new salesman either. We're talking about like representation from publicly traded companies, dealer after dealer after dealer. It's some of it's kind of like a who's who. Like you see them in our content or you see them around in other conferences, and now you get to meet them at ASOTUCon.
Oh, it's gonna be great. Gonna be a ripping. I mean, every panel, everybody's gonna be like, I want to go to, and then I'm gonna stop.
Oh, that's the worst part, man.
That is the worst feeling. I can't go to everything either. I'm like, nah.
I know it.
You know how we do. We always hit record.
We got the
speaking of always hitting record.
Oh, stop.
Segue time. That's good. Really good. Set us up.
Hey, so last week we had a conversation with the man, the myth, the legend, Ed Roberts. And for those of you, we know it's hard to sometimes bebop around to a bunch of different podcasts, and we got a few around here. But we did a podcast, Auto Collabs, and he talked a little bit about hiring and how he is hiring entry-level employees, grooming, growing, and caring for them in a career-minded path. And we thought, hey, look, because everybody can't bebop around all the podcasts, we thought we'd share a little moment that we had.
A little clip. Give the people context. So he's the COO of Bozard Ford. They sell a couple of cars. Let's just say over 700 a month. And he talks about
700. And yeah, and he's coming out with a new book called Mile One. So you're going to want to check that out. And
Mile One Leadership.
Mile One Leadership. Sorry, Mile One Leadership. And so it's available for pre-order. If you pre-order, you're on that list. He's going to sign it, which he said in his words. I don't know if that means anything, but I'm going to do it anyway. So
does to me, because he's humble like that.
Absolutely. That's the whole thing. So he's a man of a breadth of knowledge, a lot of industry experience at a high performing dealer, leading people all the way from the ground level through executive management. So, hey, check out this conversation we had with Ed Roberts.
We are a very team oriented store, and each member on that team supports each other. And with doing that, and this is not something that's created overnight, you have to be focused on the long game to do this. But we've went from 43 employees to yesterday, 329th employee started with us. So with that kind of growth, the idea is to keep moving forward and to look inside before we look outside. So most of the time we run an ad, we're only running an ad for an entry-level position. Well, in doing so, everybody on that team has got to train the people around them so that they can put themselves in a position to move forward in that next role. Because we want that person to come from within, but they have to prepare their replacement to be able to do that.
I knew you had some intelligent answer because I don't see a pillow that you scream into anywhere in the background there.
His answer is, I take this drumstick and just whack someone. Actually,
you empower them so that things doesn't stop. I mean, Think about it. We've all been in car dealerships before where our phone's blowing up because they don't have the answers that they need or whatever else. It's not that they don't have the answers. They're afraid to make the decision. And you got to give them that empowerment to make that decision.
Yo. I mean, come on. The fact that we're like, oh, what do you do for hiring? And you can listen to the whole interview, go to Auto Collabs, listen to the whole thing because it's great. But, oh, we don't have to hire any high-level people. Why? Because we just groom them from within. So we only ever have to hire entry-level people. Is that unbelievable?
It is unbelievable. And, you know, I'm sure that they've hired a couple here and there.
Oh, for sure.
As a rule. But just this, and if you listen to the whole conversation, he was just like, no, because it puts the onus on the rest of the team to bring someone forward, right? It's like, oh, I want to grow with the company, so I've got to have my replacement. So he kind of like that. That's the atmosphere where people come into that are entry level, where everybody around them is voting for their success, is like pushing for their success, because that means they get the opportunity for success. That level of attention and care across an organization. Woo.
No wonder you're good. If you haven't heard about them, you're about to hear even more about them. Speaking of hiring entry-level people.
Segue.
Time. All right. This might sound like a broken record. If it sounds like a broken record to you, you're probably right. According to a survey from resumebuilder.com, 74% of managers say Gen Z workers are more challenging to work with than previous generations. A couple quotes, and then we'll get into this because I'm sure we have some opinions. Julie Lee, Director of Technology and Mental Health at Harvard Alumni for Mental Health, says what Gen Z wants is to do meaningful work with a full sense of autonomy and flexibility and work-life balance, and work with people who work collaboratively. Okay, there's another quote from Tara Salinas, a business ethics professor at San Diego University. She told NBC recently, Gen Z are digital natives and always communicated online, so their interpersonal skills, soft skills, have suffered. They took an even bigger hit because of COVID-19, and it shifted the way we need to interact with them in the workplace. So the survey basically found Gen Z difficult to work with. The areas they found that, according to the people who took the survey, where... put that at that. Where lack of technological skills cited by 39% of people involved, lack of motivation cited by 37%, poor communication skills 36%, and being easily offended 35%. I feel like we've had this conversation.
I'll give them the last one. Okay, I'll give them the last one
because we said that exact same thing about millennials 10 years ago.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's like every single new generation is like, they are so easily offended, you know, and it's like, yeah, whatever. But here's the thing. Okay, poor communication skills. Literally, I've never met anyone that's like, yo, this generation's got the best amazing.
This 19-year-old
at communicating
communication skills.
22-year-olds, perfect communicators. Y'all. That's training. That's education. That's part of the game. Okay. Lack of motivation. This is the question. Is motivation internal or external?
Oh, here.
Like I know plenty of leaders that are great at getting people motivated. So lean it. Like if you're working with people and these are the things you're thinking about, these are the things you're reading, lack of technological skills. Okay. Train more. Come on.
I'm having a hard time. It depends on what technological skills you're talking about, because I don't know about you, but I know I have a Gen Z son.
Right.
We have a number of Gen Z people that work for ASOTU, and we're often learning from them on like, oh, you could do this way. You could do this that way instead. So my perspective is that Gen Z are some of the most adaptable people that we've ever hired and ever worked with. And yeah, like I think you nailed it. Like who has great communication skills at 20 years old? I didn't, right?
No,
I thought I did. I thought
I
did. That was my problem.
I think that's maybe that's what it is. The pride of perception,
pride of life. Well, we do have another link here in this episode, which is basically, if you look at the show notes, it's the 2,500 year history of adults blaming the younger generation for not having it together. And I wonder how many people filling out this survey were actually millennials. Like, yeah, there's these kids, man. They just don't understand. So I don't know. We'll be back 10 years from now doing this same exact thing.
It's wild. It's wild. It's like, hey, bring the next to back to our friend Ed. bring the next generation along, whether it's entry level or new generation or whoever it is. Like, it's your responsibility. It's our responsibility to care for those who we care for in a manager-employee relationship. And that's where success comes from, because I know some extremely dialed in millennials, Gen Z, and even younger that are cared for by great leaders, great parents. So it's ready. Let's go.
There you go. Well, there you go. July 3rd, you know what to expect. We're not going to be complaining. We're going to be looking at the bright side, and we're going to be telling you the truth of what the future looks like for this industry. And the future is very bright.
Hold on.